We got an army you can see, and an army you don't know nothing of.
Well, here we are with 4 days left, and what's next? I want to make a couple announcements before I actually get into the content of this video here. I want you guys, if you haven't already, I'm going to put a few links in the description at the top, but this will be the first link. It's the video about prepping. I really want you to take a look at that video. I mean, I'll give you the gist of it right here. I've mentioned several times on this channel, all my channels really, and my premier channel, Covert Radio, that there's nothing new under the sun. There really isn't. Things may be called different names or may be referred to differently, but the techniques might change a little bit, but there's nothing new under the sun. And the prepping video I did is basically a warning that says hide what you have. If you have anything in your pantry, if you're a prepper, if you have totes filled with rice and beans, hide them. Put them in a couple locations, because I genuinely feel like we've been set up. We've been set up to feed an invading army. And nobody knows. I'm sure there's a handful of people, but nobody really knows what the next few days, the next week or two, the next month or two is really going to bring for this country. And it's no secret that there are some military bases in different locations around the United States, strategic locations, being used to house military equipment. There's videos online that show UN vehicles being parked here and there, trains with tanks and all kinds of things. Nobody knows what they have prepared. And nobody knows to the level that they're willing to go. But the video talks about feeding an invading army, and we've been tricked into it with the shows like the Doomsday Preppers and Apocalypse Preppers. And you walk into Walmart and there's right in front of you, 10 feet from the door, there's a stack of 30, 40-day food supplies with freeze-dried food. And they've been pushing this on people for many years, and I genuinely believe it was so that we will feed an invading army. What better way to keep a battalion of soldiers out in the field, out in a town, out in a city in the middle of winter? And they are predicting a bad winter this year for the United States, bitterly cold and a lot of snow. What better way to keep them out? What better way to reduce the problems with supply lines than to have every third house on a block with a pantry full of food or totes full of food? So start really thinking about that. I want you to check that video out, and I've related it to a World War II exercise that Hitler ran called Operation Barbarossa. And I'm telling you, the elites have learned a lot from that and the hunger plan. So check that video out. The other thing is this, and I have mentioned this, on my premier channel. Typically when I do a video that is just commentary mainly, like a podcast, I normally tell you in the beginning, that way, you could just hit play, go do something, because I value your time, and I appreciate the fact that you guys come here to listen. And I love your input. Like I said before, I read every comment you make, because I look at it like this. If you take the time to listen to my perspective, I'm always going to take the time to read you guys' comments. So there's really going to be nothing to look at here. So you can just hit play, go do something, make a cup of coffee, or go about browsing the web or something. There's going to be no real video or images to look at on this. Just listen. But each day it's getting crazier. I mean, I had mentioned this in a couple of my other videos that I watch the markets in real time, the global markets. And I've also said this in several of my videos, watch out. When the price of gold starts to rise, watch out. That's been throughout history. And right now, today, right as I'm recording this, I just looked before I hit record, the price of gold right now is only about $74, $75 away from its highest trading value in the past 52 weeks. The stock market is plummeting globally. And I mean, Brazil is falling through the floor. All of the global markets are falling, but gold, platinum, they're pretty much going up consistently. And this really all started after the recent announcement by the FBI that they're reopening the investigation into Hillary Clinton. That's when the markets start going crazy, and gold has continually gone up. And just let me give you a brief explanation of that, why it's true. Through history, typically, when gold goes up in price, that signals that the economy is struggling. We all know that the economy is falling apart, no matter what numbers they cook up, no matter what jobless rates they want to put up or whatever. I mean, you can't deny what you see and what you feel. You cannot. You can't. They want you to, because they want people, and I've mentioned this before too, they want people to feel like they're crazy. I call it sane shaming. I've coined that term. It's called sane shaming. And, basically, like, if you look at these recent polls and these numbers that they keep trying to cram down people's throats, like, I mean, we're supposed to believe that this criminal, this crime family matriarch, who's been involved in scandal after scandal after scandal after scandal for 30 years. You, as Joe Schmo American or Jill Schmo American, you're supposed to believe that hasn't affected her presidency numbers. So when you look at this, in your heart, not even just in your mind, when you look at these numbers, in your heart, there's no way. There's no way. But they do this on purpose, so they make people feel separate. They want you to feel crazy. They want you to feel like there's something wrong with you because you're not thinking like everybody else does. Look how popular Hillary is. What's wrong with you? There's nothing wrong with you. They're sane shaming you. And I could even take that back to Caitlyn Jenner. Like, she was Woman of the Year, and I'm throwing up quotations, Woman of the Year on that one magazine or whatever. And there was, everybody was so happy and proud of her, and she's the strongest, quotations, the strongest woman in America. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? So what, when you look at this or you see her on a stage and your stomach starts turning or you just don't feel right, there's something wrong with you. That's what their media and everything else, that's what they'll try to cram down your throat. What, you don't think Caitlyn Jenner is Woman of the Year? There's something wrong with you. No, there isn't. No, there isn't. When you seen the White House after the Supreme Court legalized same-sex marriage, when you seen the White House lit up like the rainbow flag, how did you feel? Well, if you weren't out there with your rainbow flag clapping and hooting and hollering and all over social media with how proud you are to be an American, there's something wrong with you, right? No, there's nothing wrong with you. They're sane shaming you. And that's like even recently over Halloween, trick-or-treating night, I caught some of the news. And the big story, see, when we were growing up, us deplorables, when we were growing up, the big story every year was razor blades in the apples, razor blades in the candy bars. Like that story always made its way to the news. And your mom and dad or pappy and Grammy, whoever, they always threw away the apples because they put razor blades in them. Well, guess what the big story was this year? I didn't get his name. He was some little boy, a little boy, young enough to go trick-or-treating, but he had national news coverage because he was going transgender. He's a transgender little boy, and his hero, his idol, was this adult transgender man who was on RuPaul's Drag Race TV show, and it's a television, like a contest between transgenders, I guess. Well, that was the whole news coverage this year. Oh, isn't that great? Isn't that great? That's worthy for me to sit in my living room with my kids and watch your garbage being crammed down my throat? No, it's not. And you're not going to sane shame me, okay? It's not normal. It's deplorable. Oops, I forgot. We're the deplorables, right? There's nothing wrong with you. You're not strange. You're not different. You're not a deplorable. Your own heart and mind and soul will tell you that. I mean, put it this way too. If you're okay with all that, then that's how your heart and mind and soul is. People are different, okay? But I don't need to see it on my television. You know what I mean? I don't want to see it on my television. But yeah, don't believe the hype. There's no way that she's part of the biggest investigation in federal history. It's Wienergate and Watergate and this gate and that gate all tied into one times 10. And she's been under investigation for this, for that, this. She's been under subpoena. She ignored it. She's done this. She's done that, involved with it. But she's still running for president, and she's still beating Trump. That's amazing. That is amazing. Don't believe the hype. But anyway, I'm watching gold go up since the announcement of the investigation being reopened. And what that means is the economy's struggling. No matter what they tell you, no matter what numbers of unemployment or disposable income, we all know what the truth is. But normally what happens when inflation starts going up or, stocks are going down, what happens is a lot of investors go to gold. They want to protect their principal, so they go to gold. All the investors turn to gold. That's why they hold on to it. They start hoarding it as much as they can. And it's also, when gold goes up, it's also the early warning sign of a major crisis. Again, they go back and they hoard gold. They hold on to gold as a hedge. It's like protection. Now, when the economy's good, like say in the late 90s and stuff, and I'm not saying it was good, but it was still pretty good, pre 9/11 and everything, and pre this, increase in gas and oil and all that. People were very speculative with their investments. And, all these wireless companies, this is before the dot-com bubble, all these dot-coms were popping up looking for money. And people were throwing money at anything. Any new idea that sounded cool or whatever, they could. Gold was very cheap then. But people were holding on to it now because they want to protect their principles. So be aware of that. And, it's probably not going to stop going up. I don't see, and we're probably talking all the way up until, January at least, and that's if there's still a country left. So one more thing I want to mention too is, here we are, like I said, 4 days out. We got 4 days with this weekend, okay? Listen, just some advice. I'm not saying I know anything. Okay, but this has been put on my heart. Do yourself a favor this weekend and go out, get maybe a few extra cans of beef stew, maybe get a few gallons of water, maybe make sure all your flashlights have batteries and, things like that. You may want to use this weekend to prepare, okay? And I'll throw it back to my prep video. Maybe watch that video before you go out this weekend. But if you were ever going to put a little pantry together or a little, tote with some dry goods in it or some stored up food and water, you'd probably want to do that by the end of this weekend. There's no better time than right this second to go out and stock up a little bit, because anything can happen. And what they're doing, you have to look at it two different ways. There's the mainstream news, okay, which is where most people, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of people get their information. Then there's all the other stuff on the internet. You can go get anybody's opinion or information on the internet. But when you put both of these together, it kind of gives you a pretty good picture of what's going on. But you really want to pay attention to what they're saying on the mainstream stuff, because that's what they want to prepare people for. So, okay, we're just going to pretend for a minute, all right? Get out of your normalcy bias, okay? And let's pretend that come, say, Tuesday or Wednesday, when you flip the kitchen light on, it's not going to come on, all right? Come Tuesday, Wednesday, when you go to get online with your phone, tablet, computer, whatever, oops, sorry, can't connect, no internet. Let's just pretend that that's going to be the case, all right? Get out of your normalcy bias. Daddy's not always going to be there to fix it, and it's not always going to be up to somebody else to fix it. And what they're setting up, there's a news article, it was on Reuters. The article was titled, U.S. Militia Girds for Trouble as Presidential Election Nears. And this was by Justin Mitchell and Andy Sullivan with Reuters. They were down in Jackson, Georgia, and they interviewed some of the members of the 3 Percenters down there. It's a militia group. They were making comments. They published comments, I should say, like this. Well, I'm going to say that, we won't fire the first shot, but we're not planning to leave our guns at home. There's talk of militias going out to protect some of the polling places. There is some talk of National Guard being brought in to be at the ready at some of the polling places. And here's the biggest question. What are you willing to do, and what are you not willing to do? That is the biggest question. Because like I said, there isn't always going to be somebody else to fix it for you. You can't always depend on being able to use your phone or drive to the store, okay? What are you willing to do this weekend and next week? How ready really are you? Because they're setting up something big. Now, this is how you can look at it. And this is one or two ways I want you to consider something. There's a group called Project Veritas, and they did an undercover video. This was similar to the sting not too long ago, the undercover video of the Planned Parenthood video where that one director or whoever she was talking about selling different baby parts. And how much for this, how much for that, like they're at a butcher shop and they're selling some cuts of beef. Just real nonchalant in a cafe, and I'm sure some of you guys have seen that. But Project Veritas did an undercover video with people inside of the Clinton campaign and the DNC about their willingness to use violence. And this is a proven, documented fact, according to Project Veritas. They talked to a guy named Darren Black. He's one of the big wigs with them. He's like one of the ghosts with the DNC. And there was one guy named Scott Fovel. And they have him on camera saying, we have mentally ill people that we pay to cause problems at the Trump rallies. And this was mostly seen at the Chicago rally. They had all these people that they paid, that the DNC and the Clinton campaign paid, and Trump even said this at the last debate. They paid these people to go out and incite violence. Okay? Now, you can see the mainstream media getting ready to say, oh, yep, these militiamen, they're taking this and that and da-da-da. They're trying to bash Trump always with well, he said, it's the revolution if he don't get elected and this and they're going to da-da-da. Okay, That's what they're saying. But see, they won't talk about this. They are the ones. Hillary's camp are the people. Her campaign and the DNC are the ones that are out there actually committing violence. And these are all stories that you will not or have not seen on your 6 o'clock news or in your democratically controlled newspaper. Have you guys been reading or seen all over the news about the Trump signs being destroyed all over the place? Just people walking up, ripping them out of your yard and being, decimated? No, you don't really see too much about that. How about in Maine when they had people out there spray painting? This was outside of a Trump rally. They had people out there spray painting Trump supporters' cars and trucks with spray paint. Did you hear about that? Nah, you didn't hear about that. How about Trump's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame? Did you see that somebody took a sledgehammer to it? Oh, you didn't see that? Look any of those up. Feel free. They're out there. The articles are out there. But you won't see that on the news. You won't see Reuters covering that. You will see them covering the militia and, blah, blah, blah. Okay. You see what they're setting up? They want people to go insane. They want us to burn this country down. That's what they really want, so they can move into step 2, bring in all the UN troops. All the food's already in our house. If you followed your, the prepping guides and all that and everything, all the food's here. It's going to be a very cold, long winter. Don't worry about food. People have stocked up gas, We dragged them right along into this. You guys don't got to worry. You have full bellies and plenty of gasoline because these stupid Americans gave it all to you. That's option 1. Okay, they're setting the whole violent end of this up. And the real question is this: who has been proven to cause violence so far? They have. Okay? Hillary has. They have been proven to cause violence already. So here's one more thing I've heard nobody talk about yet. If you remember several months ago when Trump was really gaining steam and it was right before the RNC announcement and everything, that's our guy. Okay. You had a lot of stories going around with actual death threats. Mexicans talking about Trump, if he gets elected, this and that and da-da-da. You have a lot of people so violently angry at Trump because they think the second he's president, he's gonna kick us out of the country. There goes my American dream. Well, what about my American dream? Okay, it's a nightmare. We have between 80 and 100,000 right now this second as I'm recording, between 80 and 100,000 Syrian refugees in this country right this second. Whose side are they going to fight on if violence breaks out? You have all these illegal immigrants here. You have the BLM. I'm sure Soros has them in the wings ready to go at the first hint of violence. And who is already been proven to start the violence? They have. And I'm sure there's a lot of good old boys out here that are full flak jackets, armed, ready to go at the first whiff of gunpowder. They're setting up a Molotov cocktail. They're setting up a bonfire of epic proportion. And here's what it's all going to revolve around. If Hillary wins, then they're going to want the patriots, the militia, they're going to want everybody to go crazy because we're taking our country back. If Trump wins, they have the BLM, they have this small army, not even small, an army of 100,000 refugees and illegal immigrants, over 100,000, probably more close to 1 million people in this country ready to burn every single city and town down to the ground because they don't want Trump in. This is such a volatile time, and I want everybody that's listening to this, think about it first. I talk about this stuff because I want to bring things to the table that you may not have considered. And I'm telling you something, in the age I'm at right now, somebody had told me this it's probably about 10 years now. See, I'm a hothead. Okay, by nature, I'm a hothead. I have what's called an explosive disorder. I go from 0 to about 900 miles an hour in 1 second. I've gone through 4 windshields in 1 year. Okay, I'm not kidding. It's the honest to God truth. I have blasted windshields out from the inside out. But the older I've got, the more I've calmed down. I mean, believe me, working out and lifting and stuff, I don't have that. Haven't had that problem in a long time. But somebody had mentioned this to me years ago. They said, Covert Radio, they said, your first reaction isn't always the right reaction. It isn't. And I'm telling you, I've lived it. I'm telling you it's the truth. Think about what's facing us. Think about the consequences. Think about our options. Okay? Don't go, Rambo, and because I know a lot of you guys want to. We have to do this the right way. There are steps. Pray about it. Think about it. Visualize it. Prepare. Because I'm telling you, they are more than ready to use violence against us. They've proven that already. Just like the firebombing of the Republican Party headquarters in North Carolina. See, and here's the beauty out of all of this. This is the beautiful part of it. Everything I just mentioned, their encroachments, their attacks, their use of violence against us, that's all documented. They are trying to destroy this country. They are trying to destroy us. They are trying to destroy the men who can fight, the men who can stand up. They've been trying to destroy us. Drugs, alcohol, ecstasy, all the drugs and everything that was around us growing up, everything was all meant to destroy us because they knew this day would come. Keeping 45 million Americans in poverty, so we can't afford to go get this or this gun or that or this or get ammunition. When they bought 5 billion rounds of ammunition to reduce the stockpiles or make it unavailable, they tried to corner the market on ammunition, or like 2.5, 3, 4. I don't remember the exact numbers, but it was like several bullets per American. They already have them. But like I said, the beauty of it is this. They have been attacking, destroying, firebombing, sledgehammering, punching, kicking, scratching, spitting. They've been doing it all, and it's all documented. And the only thing that has been used so far to destroy the crime family matriarch named Hillary Clinton, the only thing that has been used to destroy her is the truth. Her own emails, her own words, her own actions. She's done it to herself. With the help of a lot of other people, but still, she has done it to herself. They've hit us time and time and time and time again so far. Do you think it's going to stop on election day? Especially if things don't go the way they want them to go for her? Guys, listen to me. Pray about this. Like I said, what I've been trying to do with these videos is just cover every possible option. And I want you guys to think about it. There's some of you that are probably, that you don't even care. So what? I don't vote. I don't care. You think this isn't going to affect you at some point in time? You're dead wrong. You're dead wrong. Shut the TV off this weekend. Take a walk. Go out in the woods. Take a walk with your family. Walk your dog. Do something. Get out. Enjoy. Commune. Get a few extra cans of beef stew or beans. Get a couple bags of rice or something, a few gallons of water. Make sure you have batteries, maybe 5 gallons or so of gasoline, just in case. I mean, it's going to be a bad winter anyway. How do you know you ain't going to get snowed in? It's not like it's going to go to waste. But something tells me that we're not going to want to be trying to go out to Walmart here in the next week or 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Or if we do try to go to Walmart, there's going to be nothing on the shelf. Look at Venezuela. They can't even get toilet paper. Okay? They're eating cats and dogs. Literally. Take a step back, take a deep breath, and pray. Lord, please get us through this. Show us the way, show us the light. Protect us. Get out of your normalcy bias. Pretend everything goes down this weekend. Go through it in your mind. You know, because like I said, if she wins, believe me, there are going to be millions and millions of people. She's not my president. They're going to want to secede. They're going to maybe try to start secession proceedings by pen or by force. You don't know. If he wins, we're talking literally, again, millions of people are not going to stand idly by. And they are the ones that have already demonstrated their willingness to take it to a whole new level. Prepare, pray, because like I said, guys, we have no idea how far they're willing to go. We can just pray and try to be as prepared as we can be. I'm Covert Radio. Subscribe. Share this video. Take a look at my other channels. I'm working steadily trying to get content on all of my channels. Consider being a Patreon. There's rewards at all levels. I'd like to bring you guys more and more content. It's just a matter of time. You know, there's physically don't have enough time. You know, I'm a newer channel. We're trying to get a little network going here. I got some interviews coming up here probably before the election, and we're just going to keep going. If you guys have any thoughts, comments, please comment. Like I said, I read everything. If you see this in a different way, maybe we can have a talk and, you know, we'll do a video together. So I'm down for whatever. You know, this is about us. This is about building, moving forward, and just trying to like literally get our country back. We're not crazy. You know, and I know you know. In your heart, you see this, you feel it. You know there's something wrong. You know it's not right, but I'm telling you something, you are not alone. And they will stop at nothing to convince you you're alone, and you're not. We will not be sane shamed. You guys take care. Have a good day.